Hello, this is Katie O'Regan. I am here with an amazing new filmmaker. We are having our very first episode of Featured Friday Filmmakers 2025. We're kicking it off with a special person who has a new movie coming out this week, premiering in Los Angeles. His name of his movie is Activated Man. And I saw the trailer and I just love it. Nicholas, welcome. It's nice to see you today.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
So I'm Nicholas Genie. I'm the director of The Activated Man. Do you want me to introduce the film now, or should we hold
Yeah,
off?
please introduce the film now. Go ahead.
So the film is it's kind of a unique supernatural thriller. It's probably equal parts emotional drama about a guy who loses his dog to cancer, and this dog was like a son to him. So the trauma of this loss essentially bursts open his third eye, and he starts seeing things on the other side. Uh, that start haunting him and tormenting him, and he starts questioning whether or not he's losing his mind, or if these things are actually real.
Mm-hmm. And it is thrilling. We'll post the trailer beneath this, Nicholas, and for people to watch. And when I saw it, the cinematography was beautiful, and I think it's a very compelling story. Being a lover of dogs, my little corgi, which we just asked to go out and play in a different room, uh, is something very close to my heart. And I'm also I read for people. I've done clairvoyant readings since I was, for a long time for people. So when I saw this, I was like, oh,
Oh,
I have to interview him.
oh
And
wow.
yeah, and so you invited me to your premiere in LA, which is this Thursday, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right? um, Very exciting. So we'll get this up by tomorrow, hopefully, or maybe this evening. So I was just like, oh my God, such serendipity. I love this.
Or it's
Yeah.
just
Or is it? Or
yeah.
is it? All right. Yeah. And so I can't wait to see the entire movie. How long is the movie?
It's an hour and 55 minutes.
Hour 55.
It's like a slow burn thriller, and then it really kind of takes off in the last act and just goes crazy.
Who wrote it?
I wrote it.
Wrote it, produced it, directed it.
Yep, many hats on
Did you edit it? Did you edit
uh,
it?
I mean, you could say that. I had an editor who was like doing the nuts and bolts, but I was very, very hands-on and basically had to, shape the edit myself.
Yeah. So you were there with the editor when he was doing the edit, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah. So that you really are the editor. So
yeah. It was a very
um
meticulous process. I mean, the same thing with the composer. I was there overseeing everything, up and down, notes here, there, So it was very yeah, it was a lot of hats, were worn.
so you're doing a screening across the a release across the country. How many theaters are you releasing in, and where?
So it's starting as a rollout release. So we're starting with 10 screens, and then expanding in January to some more, and that'll coincide with the VOD digital release that's going to be happening just before Christmas. And so basically it's meant to be kind of a promotional push for the home video release. But so we've got theaters in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts,
Right.
Tennessee, Kansas, LA, a couple in LA, Arizona. I'm gonna forget some right now, but yeah,
That's okay.
but little stops,
Yeah.
in key cities around the country.
So where are you premiering your film tomorrow in LA?
At
Let's
the Fine Arts Theater in Beverly Hills.
say the name of the theater again.
The Fine Arts Theater.
Find out. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was there, I totally would come. I'm here in Iowa at my studio.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I spent all
I was there a few months ago for a film festival. We showed the movie at the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival.
Oh, I love that film festival. I was there a couple of years ago. That's about 2 hours south of here. Yeah,
Oh,
they've
cool.
been doing film festival there for a really long time. I have the Star City Film Festival, and this is our sixth
Oh,
season.
wow.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, yeah, you should submit it. We should do your film. We're gonna do it. It's August 2nd and 3rd, the Star City Film Festival.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We do it. It's different every year. This year would be really kind of. We're gonna do a hybrid, part online,
Okay.
and part. So you're gonna be our first filmmaker this year, Featured Friday Filmmakers, and
Oh, wow.
if we if you want to put your film in our festival, we'll put it in.
Well,
I'm
yeah, that
sure.
would be incredible. I'd love to. I love an excuse to go back to Iowa.
Please do. It's
Yeah,
beautiful here in Waukon, Iowa.
nice,
It's the
awesome.
Barn Studio, Waukon, Iowa. I call it my barn studio.
All right.
Yeah. It's not in the barn. It's in my old 1965 renovated house. But anyway, so I'm very excited uh, to tell people about this film. I'm really want to congratulate you. I know what it takes to do what you do. Tell everyone how long it took you to do this film.
Yeah, it was a crazy process, a unique process because so the movie was inspired originally by my own loss. I lost my dog Louis to cancer,
Mm.
and so that was a he was like, and it was he was like a son to me. So the jumping off point for the narrative was rooted in that grief that I experienced, and what
Oh,
was
sorry.
yeah, and it was a really hard time, and what was what made it, I think, compounded was that he died, and then just a couple of months later, COVID hit, and we were all
Uh,
kind of locked indoors, and I was just in my apartment in Santa Monica here, just living in my grief.
right. Terrible.
And then one night, I had this dream, and Louis came to me in the dream,
Mm.
and he essentially communicated to me to tell the story. And I
Oh, wow.
woke up and I just started writing, and because COVID essentially shut down the film industry for a while, there was nothing for me to do but sit here and develop this story, and I started,
Mhm.
and what's interesting is that at that point in my life, I would say that I was pretty agnostic,
Okay.
and his death essentially pushed me into spirituality
Yeah.
and learning all about the various facets of spiritualism and different belief systems and all that kind of stuff. And so I just dove in, studied, and used all that studying to kind of help inform the script over the next year or so as I was developing the script. And then the COVID restrictions started to lift a little bit, and right when I needed it, the universe put a investor in front of me, and
Yeah.
we were off and running. And then the film, basically from pre-production to finishing, was a little over a year, little like a year and a couple months.
Very cool. That's a great story. I love that story. Um, yeah, well, we'll have to talk more about this after
Yeah,
I watch
absolutely.
the whole
After
film.
you watch the film, yes.
Yeah.
Knowing that you do readings and
Yeah.
that you have a spiritual side, I think that it will
Yeah.
be, and that you are also a dog lover, because
Yeah.
that it will be very up your alley. You might cry a little bit. It's a very emotional movie. We have lots of audiences, sniffling and coming up to me, which is very gratifying. People come up to me and
Yeah.
just thank me for making the film.
Oh, I
Because
love it.
it has
Wonderful.
even though it's this like supernatural scary movie, it's
Yeah.
also a very, cathartic emotional journey. And a lot of people, have thanked me because it gave them kind of closure for losing their animal or even a human loved one. And
Mhm.
it gave them this catharsis that they weren't expecting to get from going to a horror movie, which is really cool.
That's super cool. Life is supernatural. The world is supernatural.
Really.
Anybody who doesn't believe that there's something other than this very physical planet that we live on, and then we happen to be born here, and we have this miracle of bodies and miracle of world, and then we just gone, and there's nothing else. Seems not only uh, silly to me. It's not logical. I mean,
Right. No, it's interesting. I had an argument about this the other day because there was somebody um who was deeply offended by the film
oh God.
because the movie deals with grieving over an animal to such an intense degree. Now, I take respect to that perspective by addressing, in the movie we address the fact, like there's a scene where the main character's like, I feel so stupid. It was just a dog, right? But at the
Uh,
end of the day, at the end of the day, we're all spirits,
yeah.
and who's to judge, who our soulmate is and what we connect to, whether it be a pet, an animal, or a loved one, or a teacher, or a sibling, or whatever. So we went back and forth, and he considers himself an atheist, and then I told him, I said, I said, I don't know why atheists even take the time to consider themselves atheists, because at the
Right,
end of the day, there's no way you can know anyway.
right, right.
So what's the point? Why have this determinate, stamp when we're only going to really find out all the answers once we get there, you know?
Right. I always say atheists are the closest thing to a very God loving, universe loving person because they do think so much about it. I never had a choice in my life but to believe in the other side because my first memory of being alive was um, on the other side. So when I was a very little girl, and I don't know, I can't pinpoint the exact day or time how old I was, but I was like between 2.5 and 3 years old. I drowned in
Wow.
a in a cow tank. I fell in and my oldest brother fished me out and I wasn't breathing and I saw the other side
Mm.
and I made a choice to come back here and I didn't want to. So as a little tiny girl, that's my first memory of living. So I never once ever questioned that there was an other life other than in my entire life ever. I just never
And it's
questioned.
and it's funny. I when I lost my father when I was 12, and
Mm,
it was like a very, very hard, deep emotional pain
yep.
that changed the course of my life and my entire family's life. And
Mm,
and I think that I became very angry as a result of that. My family was we were I was raised Catholic. The
mhm.
moment my dad died, I was like, bye. I'm out of this, and I became very angry about why this was had to happen.
Yeah.
And so I kept I found myself over the years having conversations with whatever higher power, saying, you know what, I'm not gonna I've had it with honestly I've had it with faith. I want you to
Mhm,
prove it, prove it to me, prove it to me.
mhm.
And then suddenly my dog dies and uh, gave me some proof. And
Right.
so I'm in a place now where I know, like you, that there is more, uh,
Yeah.
which is a very interesting place to be in. Both daunting and freeing at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but it has definitely, Louis's death completely changed everything about me. I mean, I'm still like a big movie nerd, teddy
Yeah.
bear, you know, intense teddy bear, but I have this spiritual layer to me that is that was not really strong before.
That's pretty special. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm very excited for this movie. I can't wait to see it. I really it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for getting in touch with me. Congratulations on being our first this season featured Friday filmmaker.
All
Um
right.
we'll post this and I'll send you a link so you can share it with everyone. And I look forward to coming in back to Los Angeles and seeing it on the big screen, not
Cool.
this week, but soon.
All
And
right.
be in touch with me. And I want to say to everyone, I hope you watch this. And I'm sure just from this conversation, people will be very interested
Great.
to watch
Great.
this.
So,
You're awesome.
all
I'll
right.
talk.
Thank you so
And
much.
this is Katie O'Regan with Featured Friday Filmmakers. And you guys have a peace out day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Nicholas.
Bye.
See you later.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Well, I'll
I'll
talk
talk
with
to
you
you soon.
soon. All
I'll
right.
send this, okay?
Okay. Bye.
Okay, dear. Okay.